Welcome into Jaguars A.M. this morning. We have finally made it. It's the first week of the regular season for the NFL. Real football officially back here in Jacksonville as the Jags prepare to head down to Miami in their Week 1 opener against the Dolphins. Let's start off with our big things today. The final 53. The roster was cut down last Tuesday to 53 players. This is the final roster, at least for now. It is for the Jaguars anyway. A lot of those cuts may be questionable. We weren't sure what they were going to do on the defensive side of the football. Jeff Lageman's in with us today. Jeff, they kind of did some interesting things with the edge players and the defensive line. What exactly was going on there?
Well, very interesting to say the least. I don't think I've ever seen a final roster that has 8 big guys and 3 edge players. Usually the edge players are kind of at a premium. Although the Jaguars do consider Eric Armstead as an edge player, but that's kind of surprising because for the bulk of his career, he's been an interior player. But if they're going to be big, they're going to be really big up front, that's for sure, if they play a lot of those guys that normally are inside on the outside.
Yeah, I thought that was definitely the theme of the 53. 10 offensive linemen, 11 defensive linemen. They clearly were trying to stay big. I was a little surprised Christian Braswell didn't make it. I was a little surprised a few guys didn't make it, but Doug Peterson had sort of hinted that a couple of days before the 53 was out. He talked about how he and Trent Baalke didn't want to get caught somewhere down the line without big guys on the roster. They skewed that way. I think their philosophy was we can go find guys who can run. It's harder to find big guys who can play.
Yeah, and the one thing that I would add to that is that if you remember at the conclusion of last year, this team really felt that they had to be more physical on both sides of the line. That's offensive and defensive lines, and certainly that theme carried true this year.
Bigger and stronger, definitely a focus during the offseason, and we're seeing that on this final roster right now. Our second big thing this week is going to be Week 1. It's Week 1. We take on that opener in Miami. John, it's not going to be an easy one, but there is always those flukes in Week 1. Do we know exactly what to expect other than the Dolphins are definitely going to want to throw the football?
Well, it may have been my friend Jeff Lageman who told me in '95 that you can never predict what goes on Week 1, and it certainly proves true. It's hard to game plan for it. Teams spend so much time game planning for it, and they usually have trick things in, and you just haven't seen anything. So usually what you can do after Week 1 is sort of throw all those results out and know that the season may not go like that. I think this is a tough Week 1 matchup because Miami is so fast. A new defense that I think is going to be strong over time. Heads can spin when you're playing this much speed. This is a tough test for this first-year defense, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt that it's a tough test, and particularly because Miami, if you look at them, what they did last year, they came out of the gate hot and were rolling. You know, you hope that with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill missing some time going into this week, will slow the Miami Dolphins down a little bit. But again, you're right, going all the way back to 1995, the quote that I said to you at that point, there are a lot of things that you don't know in Week 1. There's always a lot of surprises. And the other thing to remember too, very few players are in game condition in Week 1 because most of the players nowadays are not playing a lot in the preseason. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get into that groove, not only as a player, but also as a team.
Yeah, to me, Kai, the matchup this week, Jaguars front 7 defensively. Josh Hines-Allen, Travon Walker, Devon Hamilton, to me, and Armstead are all these guys that if there's a core of the defense, that's it. They got to win to combat Miami's speed.
And Ryan Nielsen's new scheme being put to the test right out of the gate for sure in that game against the Dolphins offense. Our final big thing today is going to be look ahead. We're going to do our season predictions a little bit later on in the show, but I did want to talk a little bit about this first chunk of the season. Obviously, Jeff, I'm not going to call it a must-win in Miami, but it's important for this team to get as many wins as they can, as early as they can, because there's some difficult games on this schedule.
Well, let's kind of go back to last year for a minute. You know, you had what was one of the toughest collapse in franchise history last year. And so if you don't start fast, will that mindset look back to last year and start to have a little doubt? It would always be great to start fast, just so that mindset, positive results, creates positive results in the future. So I hope this team starts fast in Miami. And I'm also going to just kind of chime in here a little bit and give a little credit to the offense. I think Trevor Lawrence is primed for a big year. And I think that this may be a big moment for him this week in Miami.
Yeah, it's certainly this pregame storyline is how fast the Dolphins offense is. I think the Jaguars offense with Trevor has to counter that. Look, on paper, it's a really tough start to the season. One thing I always believe in when trying to analyze the NFL, though, is in that first 4 or 5 games, you always think you know what teams are. You don't really know until week 5 or 6. So this brutal schedule, I think the Jaguars can find a couple. I'm just not sure where they are yet, so I'll sort of play the pullback game. But it's a tough start on paper, no doubt.
That's why they have to play the games, though. So we're going to keep an eye on things, and we'll tell you our season predictions when we come back later on Jags A.M.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinder's home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinder's home. Visit dfhsalesevent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's dfhsalesevent.com.
Ranked as the nation's best public university by the Wall Street Journal, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
Are you ready for a taste bud touchdown? Well, Jags fans, if you're at the bank and craving a snack that's shell-shockingly good, look no further than Luray Peanut Company's boiled peanuts. Picture this, you in the stands, cheering on your Jaguars, and in one hand, a bag of piping hot boiled peanuts. With original or Cajun to choose from, they're so delicious, you'll wonder where they've been all your life. So grab them while they're hot and get back to the game. And as always, Duval! Luray boiled peanuts, where every nut is a winner.
Hey Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why they've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off. From first downs and touchdowns to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice. Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. They're the safest and most convenient marketplace to score fully verified Jaguars tickets. And even if your plans get broken up or worse, turned over, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. Welcome back into Jags A.M. This or that.
This or that.
We're going to do a little this or that. Jeff, thanks for joining us today.
Sure.
John, I appreciate you being here always, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway, we're going to do a little this or that. So we're going to look at some predictions we have for the season. We're going to look ahead and be optimistic. So first off, I'm going to talk about sacks. We saw a career year out of Josh last year. Travon's heading into his third year now. Who do we think will have more sacks this year, Josh Hines-Allen or Travon Walker? Jeff, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking Josh, just because he's proven it before. I think that Josh has more tools in his toolkit. He's done it before. He typically plays on the right side, which also gives him a little bit more opportunities on the open side to pass rush. So I'm going to say just because of that, Josh.
Yeah, I'm going to agree, but because I don't think Travon has to have 18 sacks to be a really, really effective player. But we talked a little bit about it in talking about the show. I think that it's going to be closer than it was last year. I feel like Travon really started coming on at the end of last season, even beyond the numbers that he was putting up. You just felt that he was becoming more dominant and knowing how to use his size. And to me, the way Travon plays, Josh was the guy last year who had a bunch of multi-sack games, right? Travon, to me, this year, just his physical dominance in some situations, he might find a couple of guys that he's just better than in this schedule and rack up some multi-sack games this year.
Yeah, the crazy thing about both of these guys are both 285 pounds now. I mean, they're giant. And, you know, I think that Travon has added a lot to his toolbox. If you look at his game, in years past, he would always be the biggest and the strongest player, and he could always just utilize that as his tool bag. But in the NFL, everybody's big and fast and good. And the one thing he's learned to do is that he's learned to get on the edge of players, and you can be a lot bigger and a lot stronger and a lot faster when you are on the edges of players. And that's just part of the progression, and I give him credit because he's really taking that next step, watching him in training camp this year. And I'm excited to see what he is going to do, and I agree with John. I think it's going to be much closer as far as sack total numbers for each of those guys than it was in last year's instance.
And what I find intriguing about both of these guys, I get we all talk sacks. Both of these guys, to me, have pass rush ability, and yet I don't think either of them give up anything when it's time to stop the run. No. I think that's what makes them, again, we're in such a sack-centric world, but to me, the reason that they're great, and I think both these guys have a chance to be great, is because they play the run almost as well as they stop the pass, and maybe for Travon, better still against the run than he is pass rush.
You know what they say about sacks?
What's that?
You got to have them to carry the money. that's what it
well,
is.
Josh already got paid, so he's got
the
all
money.
That. He's good to go.
Josh needs a big sack, by the way. So.
Let's move to offense. I'm looking at two new additions to the offense this year. So we have Gabe Davis, who signed as a free agent out of Buffalo, and then Brian Thomas Jr., who's picked in the first round. As we've seen with Trevor, he loves his standby targets of Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. But John, if I'm looking at one of the new guys, who do you think will have more touchdowns at the end of the day?
Well, it's tough. I'm going to go with Gabe Davis because I just go with experience over rookies in this league. So I think he'll wind up with a couple more. That being said, as much as I harp on all these shows when I write about how you can't count on rookies, Brian Thomas during training camp started showing things that make me think that he may have a bigger year than maybe I usually expect out of a rookie, Jeff.
No, he can fly. I mean, he can flat out fly, and it's effortless. And I think there's a lot of defensive backs that are going to get caught a little off balance this year just because when he's running fast, he doesn't appear to be running fast.
That's it for me.
Because it is effortless. And it's hard not to give the credit to Gabe because Gabe's proven it. And Gabe also does it every year. But he does it in a different style. He's kind of crafty, whereas Brian just has the speed to go in an instant. But I hope that this is a very tight race and they're both right around 10, 11 on the year. Then everybody can be happy then. But I will say this team is going to have a vertical element to it this year that hasn't been seen in a long time. We've seen kind of a lot of that dinking and dunking in the past. I think this year this offense is going to be the old Al Davis style, in that they're going to go deep and go deep often.
Yeah, neither one of these guys feels like false narratives before the season. I mean, sometimes we talk about these things, they just don't pan out. It just feels like both of these guys are going to matter a lot in the offense, and it's going to be a different offense than we saw last year on that front.
And it's exciting to have so many options because I feel like Trevor will spread the ball around given that opportunity, and having this many different ways that they can attack it, plus the run game as well, that bodes well, or hopefully bodes well for the offense. I'm going to take things around the AFC South now. We know C.J. Stroud is very talented, but there's two other quarterbacks that we've been hearing about as well. So who has the bigger upside this season, Anthony Richardson or Will Levis? Jeff?
C.J. Stroud.
That's true. Fair enough.
Look, C.J. is an amazing young man. Last year, the year that he had was tremendous. And the two other guys are very unproven. Richardson was hurt for the majority of last year. Levis was in and out of the lineup. I don't know. I mean, toss a coin up into the air between those two, but I just, I go, John, to C.J. Stroud.
Yeah. On this question, because it says upside, I would go Richardson, because I think he has the potential to be otherworldly. I mean, run, throw, arm, everything. The question you have on him is, can he stay healthy, and can he avoid some of the mistakes that dogged him at Florida? So upside, Richardson. My sense is that over time, Levis may have the better career.
I don't necessarily agree with you on that one. Just because playing quarterback in the NFL is not about being an athlete. It's about getting the ball to the players that can make a difference. And just because Richardson is the better athlete doesn't mean that he's going to be the better passer. It's about playing quarterback. It's not about the best athlete in the National Football League.
True, and it's what's built around you as well, because we've seen, quarterbacks, maybe Carolina as an example, what's around you is important as well. So what we've seen there. So it'll be interesting to see how those things play out, but something to keep an eye on for the rest of the season in the AFC South. Stay with us here on Jags A.M. Coming up after the break, we'll give you our overall season predictions.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
Hey Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why they've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly. Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. They're the safest and most convenient marketplace to score fully verified Jaguars tickets. And even if your plans get broken up or worse, turned over, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns
That's right.
to turnovers, no, and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Are you ready for a taste bud touchdown? Well, Jags fans, if you're at the bank and craving a snack that's shell-shockingly good, look no further than Luray Peanut Company's boiled peanuts. Picture this, you in the stands, cheering on your Jaguars, and in one hand, a bag of piping hot boiled peanuts. With original or Cajun to choose from, they're so delicious, you'll wonder where they've been all your life. So grab them while they're hot and get back to the game. And as always, Duval. Luray boiled peanuts, where every nut is a winner.
Ranked as the nation's best public university by the Wall Street Journal, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
For 11 years, Dreamfinders Homes have been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You can visit dreamfindershomes.com for all of the available inventory, and go Jags. Welcome back to Jags A.M. As the regular season is here, we're so excited to finally see football, real, actual, live NFL football. So we're going to do our little predictions just a little bit as we get into these things. In the division, we've talked so much about what C.J. Stroud and the Texans were able to do last year, what we're expecting from them this year. So let's go over what we think for the division. What are you hoping to see out of the team? You guys have the same answer, just telling you.
Yeah, we're both at 4-2.
Well, I think we're both at 4-2 because we both understand this league, and winning in the division is often tougher than winning out of the division. So you usually split, and if you can get a series sweep, Jeff, you played, when you swept the team, you felt good about it.
Yeah, I feel really good about it. And I think the two losses come, one of them at the hands of the Houston Texans, and then the other one, I think, comes at the hands of the Indianapolis Colts. I don't think the Titans will be able to compete this year. That's just my opinion. But I hope that they can be at 4-2, and I hope the rest of the record reflects about the same ratio.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the Jaguars aren't better than those division opponents over time. It's just so hard to sweep when you're going on the road in that second game. There's always circumstances that make it tough. 5-1 is an unbelievable division record in this league, and should be should be remembered forever when it happens. But 4-2 is really good. If they can get 4-2, I think they're a playoff team.
I went 5-1 with mine because, as Jeff likes to say, with my teal-colored glasses on, for my final record of the season, they're going to have to go 5-1 because of the rest of the schedule is pretty daunting. So when we look ahead to the season as a whole, and we were trying to sum things up, where did you guys kind of land with your predictions for the season record?
I'm at 11-6, and
with your teal-colored glasses.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, to some respects. But look, I really believe this to my core. I believe that Trevor is ready to take the next step and is ready to enter the elite category. He's got the weapons around him. He's got the experience now. It's year 3 in the system. He's 100% healthy. If the offensive line can give him better this year, I really believe that he's ready to take that next step, and he may end up leading them to 12. You never know, but this is such a quarterback-driven league, John. It's what he's going to do.
Yeah, and I agree. I liked what you saw out of Trevor in the preseason, in that after about the first week when everybody was going crazy over a couple of practices that were weird, you saw consistency, you saw professionalism, you saw what you want to see out of a fourth-year guy. I went with 10-7 because to me, 10-7, 11-6, a coin can be flipped and you're one or the other. I think this is a team that will have a winning record. I think the key is, the reason I went 10-7 instead of 11-6, I think they could have some injuries and stuff to overcome in a tough schedule early. I think they will have this sort of experience and the veteran experience and a better line on both sides to overcome it and eventually have a stretch where they make up ground that they may lose in that first month because the first month of the schedule is tough.
There was. Let's go back to the last preseason game in Atlanta where they were playing backups, and Trevor was 8 of 10 in that ball game, I believe he was. And you remember the 2 incompletions? Do you guys remember the 2 incompletions? Because I remember them. One of them was off the fingertips of Gabe Davis in the end zone.
Should have caught it.
Okay, that ball was put on the money. Okay, the other one was when Trevor threw it, and then Gabe couldn't find it in the air, and it literally was the ball in the bucket. If Gabe had found it, it would have been another touchdown.
Yeah, and in the preseason opener too, impressive touchdown to Evan Ingram in that. Like, what you're talking about, Jeff, he's doing things, he's making throws that are NFL successful type throws. So it's look, if he's what we think he is, then you're right. Then he might be the best quarterback in the division, even though everybody's C.J. Stroud crazy. To me, also the offensive line. I think it's going to be at least marginally better on the interior. And had they been marginally better on the interior last year, I think it's a completely different record at the end of the season. So there are signs to like to get them better than my 10-7 prediction.
I think we're all in a similar ballpark with the 11-6 and 10-7. For me, a lot of it is winning the games you're supposed to win, because I think some of these matchups they should win. And then also, if we're talking about what you guys are saying with Trevor Lawrence, he can win you football games. If this is a toss-up coin flip game, he can go out there and throw 4 touchdowns and win you a football game, and that's going to be huge for them. And then also, for me, when I looked back at the season last year, 9-8, in my mind, they're better. And I know the schedule is harder, but I still feel like just the talent that is available to them, and then obviously all the ups and downs of the season as they go along. If they can get through their rough patch at the beginning and their rough patch after London, I'm feeling good.
Well, one thing that's gotten lost too is this was not a horrible team last year. This was a team that was 8-3 and then hit a skid when a lot of things went wrong and there were injuries. So I'm not sure they have to get worlds better to be better than they were last year, but they need to get solidly better in some key areas, I would say.
And key areas being more physical.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and here's one more thing to add.
And being able to depend on that.
Well, yeah,
right.
and we're talking about Trevor so much, and which is, that's the way it is. It's the National Football League, and it's a quarterback-driven league. But if this team can get more physical on both sides of the ball and run the football with both running backs, Tank Bigsby and ETN, boy, it makes it a lot easier for everything else to work when you have that going.
Yeah, and if you feel better, Jeff, about that area through the first 4 weeks, even no matter what the record is, if you feel better about what you're talking about, I think they're a playoff team, because I think over time what Jeff's talking about is what completely waylaid the season last year.
Something to keep an eye on in that opener against Miami. Stay with us here on Jags A.M. We'll tell you what we got coming up the rest of the week.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market, because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinders home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinders' 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinders home. Visit dfhsalesevent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's dfhsalesevent.com.
Hey Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why they've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more, or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Calling all junior fire chiefs. Parents, register for your child to win the ultimate Jaguars game day experience. Sponsored by Firehouse Subs, cheering on the Jags from the Firehouse Subs fire truck at Everbank Stadium, flashing the fire truck lights when the Jags score. As honorary junior fire chief of the game, your child will receive a Firehouse Subs gift, and the whole family will receive 4 tickets and a parking pass to a home game this season. Visit jaguars.com/sweepstakes to enter to win today. See website for terms and conditions.
Chelsea here. Tired of those drafty windows and high energy bills? It's time to upgrade with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, during our exclusive sale, you can save big on custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors designed to keep your home comfortable and secure all year round. Our Fibrex material is 2 times stronger than vinyl, providing superior durability and impact resistance. Plus, with flexible financing options available, there's never been a better time to make a switch. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jags fans, if you want customized Jaguars furniture for your home, check out zipchair.com to browse all the customizable options. ZipChair is furniture for fans. Also, on Tuesday, September 10th from 5 to 6, you can head to the Publix located in Neptune Beach to meet Ross Matisic and Cam Little, your special teamers of the Jacksonville Jaguars, for a special appearance as they gear up for the home opener. That's the Publix located at 630 Atlantic Boulevard in Neptune Beach on Tuesday, September 10th. That's from 5 to 6 for that meet and greet with Ross Matisic and Cam Little. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Jeff, I was just telling you, I think it should be Cam Little and Mason Smith, the rookies, they're best buddies, and like one of the largest human beings I've ever seen, and then one of the smaller players.
Isn't that funny?
It's adorable.
How you got two guys that are from very different backgrounds and very different sizes, and they're buddies. That's kind of cool.
That's a cool story, and the way it looks, both could be here for a while.
And the good thing is both of them, I think, are barely legal.
21, 22.
I mean, I think they both are like 21 years old and both recently turned it. I mean, very young.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, try to get some beer at Publix when they're there. Cam Little can now. He's official.
That's right, he can.
He can pick some up for him. John, what do you got coming up this week? What are you looking at?
Trying to get Eric Armstead for the Ozone podcast, and if so, looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Are you excited to have Coach's Show back with
Yeah, excited
Doug
for tomorrow. Yeah, we got Happy Hour. We got the Doug Peterson Show. We have Jaguars All Access. I'll see you there tomorrow night.
Our second show.
Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to taking home my Alabama White Wings from Strings.
Standing order from All Access. It's a good one. Come out and see us. Not sure who the player is, but it'll be a good one because it's week 1 for us, so that's for sure. Thanks for joining us on Jags A.M. We'll see you again tomorrow.